Good afternoon. Tony here in Great Yarmouth. All Hallows Eve, or as it's better known, Halloween. I've just been over to Captain and watched all the parents buying stuff with their kids for Halloween. Well, good luck to them. Be nice to them. They're going to be a bit scary. Well, that's the whole point. They're kids. They're meant to be scary. But kids, be nice as well. No horrible tricks with flour and paste and all that lot. Anyway, as it is All Hallows Eve, I feel I want to do something from that Christian book, the Bible. And of all things, because I happen to be thinking about my sons at the moment, I'm going to do my take on the parable of the prodigal son. Now, if I was as good with the Quran as I am with the Bible, I'd probably know exactly where it came in the Bible. Wait a minute, I've got to check, okay? Never did much on where things came in the Bible. Hang on a second, I'll find said parable. It's short, I'll give you a real brief version, okay? Okay, I found it. It is from Luke 15, Luke chapter 15, verses 11 to 32. I want to sound a bit trendy, so I'm going to go message version, okay? So bear with me, skip through the text if you find it boring. That's okay, I don't mind about that, yeah. Skip through it if you find it boring. I'll try and make it entertaining. Do you know, before I finally left said Methodist church, I remember giving a reading from the Bible. They said, does anyone want to read from the Bible? And being the kind of guy who likes reading, I put my hand up and I read from the Bible. I'm not sure how the congregation took it. I'm really not sure. Some of the feedback I got was good. Some was rather negative. See what you think about me reading this bit of Bible. By the way, I am under obligation to state that is, I do not believe these are the actual written words of Almighty God set down in a holy book 2,000 years ago. I don't believe that. This is a book written by people. Right, hold on, and I'll get started. I'll try and give you the kind of gist, yeah? Okay, first of all, the trendy message calls it the story of the lost son. Now, I'm kind of thinking about my sons at the moment because I think about my sons a lot, okay? And I think about them a lot because, believe it or not, I love them a lot. I see other people with their sons and their daughters, and I wonder if they think about their sons and their daughters as much as I think about my sons. I know I will always love my sons. This is important in this story because love is a constant. So we read from that chapter 15 in Luke about the sons. There was once a man who had 2 sons. The younger said to his father, "Father, I want right now what is coming to me." Smart cookie. So the father divided the property between them. It wasn't long before the younger son packed his bag and left for a distant country. I love this bit. There, undisciplined and dissipated, he wasted everything he had. After he'd gone through all his money, there was a bad famine all through the country, and he began to feel it. Maybe a bit like the people in Gaza being starved to death by the Israelis. He signed on with a citizen there who assigned him to fields to slop the pigs. He was so hungry he could have eaten the corn cobs of the pig slop, but he would not give way to him. But no one would give him any. They wouldn't feed him. Now, the bit that we all know, right? Brings him to his senses. I'll just try and summarise now. Decides he's going back to his father. Says to the father, immortal lines, says to God, rather, Father, I have sinned against God and I have sinned before you. I don't deserve to be called your son. Take me on as a hired hand. Well, God fortunately doesn't take him on that one, but he did make the offer, He got up and went right home to his father. Imagine that, he's done all this, and you got to remember, obviously, it takes place over a period of time, and he is very hungry, and he's spent all of his inheritance. I want to ask him, was it fun? I expect it was, Now, here's the bit that I particularly want to concentrate on, right? When he was still for a long way off, the father saw him. His heart pounding, not good at our age, mate. Coronary, possibly. Oh boy, there, heart pounding, ticker going, ding, 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 ding. His heart pounding. And he ran out to meet him. Now, here's a bit I like very much, because I was with people last night whom you could embrace, and it was absolutely wonderful. So he embraced his son. He even kissed him. The kiss in those days did not kind of mean what it means now. It's not necessarily sexual or romantic. The son started his speech. Interesting that the son starts first. I mean, if you were the son, would you like to speak first? Would you be like, oh, yeah, I'm really hungry, I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry. Could I have something to eat, please? Yeah. But the son was just straight in there. He's bang. And he repeats basically the same line he said to God. Father, I've sinned against you. I've sinned before you. I don't even deserve to be called your son. This is this deserved bit again. I don't deserve to be called your son. He said it to God, and now he says it to his own father. I don't deserve it. But the father wasn't listening. He was calling to the servants, quick, bring a clean set of clothes and dress him. Put the family ring on his finger and the sandals on his feet. Get the praised heifer and roast it. Roast heifer. We're going to feast. We're going to have a wonderful time. My son is here, given up for dead, yet now alive. Given up, lost, and now found. And they began to have a wonderful feast. Or they began to boogie and get on down, get on up, stay on the scene, like a spiritual machine. Okay, so my text for the day. What can we draw away from this? What universal truth about God can we draw from this parable? Well, interestingly, yes, God in this case is addressed as a father, a male entity, and the son is returning to another father. Me being a father, I know all about father. Hold on, I'll be back. Next door neighbour, returning our ladders. It's okay, it's cool. I'm okay with our next door neighbour. Anyway, look, where was I? I've been distracted. I distract very easily. Hold up. Okay, picking that thought up. I was talking about being a father. And I want to say this, right? We were talking about, addressing God, thinking of God as male. I believe that the story as it is set here obviously is in a completely different time, in a completely different culture, amongst a completely different a set of people with a completely different understanding of the world that we have now. And in that time, there was patriarchy. There were fathers. Fathers did share out property. Fathers did own property. Fathers owned property that included people. Okay, so I get it. And that probably also kind of went to conceiving of God as a father. But do a bit of work. Does it really matter that we are talking about fathers and sons, because obviously there's the older brother as well. Yeah, now he gets a bit pissed off, as you know, but does it really matter? We're talking about people. We're talking about people. We're talking about a loving God. Does it matter that this is male? Yeah. So what I want to say here, and I'll try not to burble on for too long because I've kind of lost my thread a bit now. I do sometimes wonder about my own sons. They're wonderful. I love them to bits. I always will. It's a constant. You know, I said about that constant, the love of the father, the love of the parent. Remember I talked about that at the beginning? Well, that's the constant with me. I don't care. Away, nearby, gone, a million miles away, left, in a different dimension. I love them. I always will. It's completely unreserved. It is absolute. Now, I want you to think about this. I really want you to think about this because I think it's really important and I think it could help. What if God loves us that much? I mean, that much. They love us that much. The constant in this story is the love of God. What if God also is so patient that he never puts the son who left out of his mind? Yeah. What if he's so patient, he's so generous, he's so loving, he is indeed forgiving, that even though he's got the existing son there with him, who's kind of heir to everything anyway, well, I like to look at it this way, right? Say the son that left took sort of 25% of the estate, but there's 70% left that's still basically going to go to the other son when the dad pops it, yeah? So, but what if he's so bloody loving and so generous and so wants to love us that even with the son who's with him, who's got everything anyway, he makes a big deal, pulls up his skirt, so to speak. That's the bit I always love because they used to wear these long robes, yeah? And apparently I've heard so many preachers say this and I absolutely love it. Can you imagine some old crinkly like me, yep, pulling up their robes and kind of running down the street like that? Don't have a corridor. I've had one. Don't recommend it. Yeah. But that's the point. This love initiates action. It initiates an old man running out to his son. Yeah. And even though the son's been gone, it's like he says, yeah. It's like it's almost as though the man's kind of saying, well, you know, the son was dead to me. Yeah. You ever heard people say that? Especially a relationship goes wrong or something, it all goes, you know, it all goes south. Let's be nice. It all goes south. That son is dead to me. No. Here comes the father. Father comes back to the son and he says it was as if they were dead, but now they're alive. Wow, can you imagine the feeling? Boom! Like that. A big, big hug. Oh, and one final thing, right? I ain't very good at sermons. It's the first one I've tried for years, all right? Getting on for 15 minutes. If you're bored, switch off. Yeah. But one final thing, right? Imagine, and I was there when both of my sons, I'm talking sons, but obviously you'll work with daughters. I was there when both of my sons were born. I was there when they were both born. C-sections, yeah. But I saw them first. Yeah. I saw them first. The feeling of love. It was overwhelming. I've never felt the strength of such feeling in my entire life. And now it's as though the Father is experiencing that same feeling he had when the Son was first born. Now, of course, I don't know whether he was there at the birth or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. Did they do that? Did they have only women at the birth and stuff like that? Why do I keep thinking back to Monty Python, The Life of Brian? I'm sorry. So, in conclusion, always look on the bright side of life. Have a great and safe Halloween. Be nice to each other. Yep. Try to be kind. Try to live as if one another matters. It's not easy. It's not easy. We fall out, we have battles, we combat all that lot, okay? But try your best. And it's Tony. Having got my ladder back. Talking of ladders, I was on about ladders and flags yesterday, wasn't I? Having got my ladder back from our next door neighbour. Have a good one, folks. Bye.